akulaze pema peponi. Umetuacha salama, pengo halizibiki. Magulala baba, magulala baba. Tutakukumbuka kwa mengi uliyoyafanya baba. Tumebaki wakiwa ila umetuacha imara. Tanzania salama, Magufuli lala. Wendo umeumaliza, umetuacha. Tanzania yako baba, Magufuli lala. Mungu akulaze pema peponi baba nenda. Baba nenda. Umetuacha imara, Tanzania salama, Magufuli lala salama, mwendo umeumaliza. Umetuacha imara, Tanzania salama, Magufuli lala salama, Mungu akulaze pema peponi. Nguzo yetu imara imeanguka, inauma. Shujaa wetu shupavu ona amelala. Amefanya makubwa ya kuigwa ya mfano. Magu tunakulilia, twatamani urudi kidogo. Mungu kwa nini umeruhusu mwamba wetu waende? Tumebaki na ukiwa, nafsi zimejawa kiza. Magufuli lala salama, tutaonana baadaye. Sote njia yetu moja, tangulia twaja. Umetuacha imara, Tanzania salama, Magufuli lala salama, mwendo umeumaliza. Umetuacha imara, Tanzania salama, Magufuli lala salama, Mungu akulaze pema peponi. Umetuacha salama, pengo halizibiki. Magulala baba, magulala baba. Tutakukumbuka kwa mengi uliyoyafanya baba. Tumebaki wakiwa ila umetuacha imara. Tanzania salama, Magufuli lala. Wendo umeumaliza, umetuacha. Tanzania yako baba, Magufuli lala. Mungu akulaze pema peponi baba nenda.
Good evening, viewers. Welcome to Punchline Africa Television, broadcasting from the Political Command Center in United Kingdom, London. Thank you very much, viewers, wherever you are in the world, for watching this Pan-African station that is on the line, the only one in East and Central Africa that tells the truth, that talks about Africa, that what is Africa, defends Africa, stands in for Africa. This is Punchline Africa Television. Our television is a television for people, for patriots, for those freedom fighters, for those who stand for peace, freedom of the people of Africa. For those who stand against neo-colonialism, colonialism, and other forms of any outdated, archaic practices, we do defend Africans wherever they are. Thank you very much. This show is Matsanga Africa Perspective. It's one of the flagship shows, the first show that I conducted 6 years ago when I began this television station. I want to thank all of you. There was no television online in Kenya or in Uganda or anywhere. People wanted to look at the television sets, but here we are. Today we are grown in numbers, huge numbers. The platform takes all the people of Africa. After 153 countries on Africa now, someone is watching in the world. Someone is watching. Thank you very much. Those in America, enjoy. Those in Europe, enjoy. Those in South Asia, enjoy. Those in Australia, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Today, first, I will begin by paying our tribute to one of the sons of Africa, gallant son of Africa, who has fallen, who has died, and died yesterday. President Pombe Magufuli, President of the Republic of Tanzania, United Republic of Tanzania, passed away yesterday. A man himself who rose up, a 61-year-old father, a patriot, a crusader of Pan-Africanism, the follower of the steps of Nyerere, the follower of the steps of the founding fathers, Jomo Kenyatta, Sekou Toure, Obote, Amir Cabral, Haile Selassie, Gabriel Onassa, Patrice Lumumba, Benebera, Oyi, Goyi, Goyi, Goyi brother, Patrice Lumumba, Nkrumah, Nimeri, Siadibare, Goyi, Robert Mugabe, Goyi, that is the Pan-Africanist, that you can find Samora Machel, Goyi, Agustino Neto. Thank you very much for standing up against all forms of segregation in the southern part of Africa. Mandela, Goyi, founding fathers of this continent, the ones who stood up and said, Africa must be united. You are one of them. You are fallen, but the legacy has not fallen. You are fallen. We shall pick out from the things you did. We who remain behind ye, we shall create a situation where Tanzania remains united, Tanzania reconciles, Tanzania remains a great country of East Africa, a great liberator of the southern region. Ye, you helped us to liberate many countries in the SADC, in Southern Africa. You helped us to liberate Uganda under the arms of Idi Amin Dada. Oh, Tanzania, my brother, I want to pass very serious condolences to the people of Tanzania, especially to General Muzuguri. I know you are still there. Thank you very much, General Muzuguri. Remember the small younger man who still remains together. He's now big, he's here talking. Asante sana mzee, asante sana wa Tanzania. Wa Tanzania walipatia sisi chakula kama chakula ilikuwa hakuna. Wa Kenya walipatia sisi chakula when there was no food, when we were fighting for freedom to liberate our country from the murderous Idi Amin regime. Thank you very much, viewers. Today, a somber day. We have a panel that exists And we are very delighted to have Dr. Severin Alute from Dar es Salaam, a great Pan-African. We have been in many conferences around Africa with him. We have tried to talk about ICC with him. We have distanced ourselves from some of the things that have happened in the continent against the continent. Thank you. Let me introduce my panel. The subject today is very clear. Tanzania, from Nyerere to Magufuli. One, seriously, it's a very great topic tonight. And let's enjoy it. From Nyerere to Magufuli. Successes, changes, obstacles, and challenges. Then we give the way forward. It's a very interesting topic, and I want to invite students of international relations and the regional politics, the politics of the Great Lakes region. Pick your pen and listen to the brains. Pick your pen and listen. From Nyerere to Magufuli, we are doing this open lecture in support of the family and the people of Tanzania, the liberation movement of Tanzania, the Mondeleans who died in Tanzania, bombed by imperialists who still bomb us and kill us. Yes, they are in southern part of Tanzania. They have occupied northern Mozambique. They want to create an enclave of ISIS. Oh yeah, Africa, where are you? Wake up and stand up. Where is Africa going? Why are we quiet when enclaves against the formation of national unity, regional unity, and African unity is being broken down to pieces? Who is breaking us down to pieces? Wherever you see oil, gas, diamonds, we are broken to pieces. Oh, ye Africa. Oh, ye Africa. We have talked about this Africa. From Nyerere to Magufuli. What are the successes, challenges, changes, and obstacles? This is a wide, you can pick from any angle. Don't stick to one. You can bring your challenge. You can see the obstacle. President Magufuli died, a man who had said his mind. President Magufuli died, a man who said, I am here. And if you want to finish me, I'm ready. President Magufuli died a person. There is nobody, and I'm Mangasa. Whoever is not a sinner on this panel and watching us, cast the first stone. Everybody makes mistakes. But we have an African norm, never, never to dance on the graves of the dead. We Africans don't dance on the graves of the dead people. We bury them with dignity. We give them what they need to be given. Thank you very much. I want to introduce my panel. Dr. Severin Alute from Dar es Salaam. Can you please test your microphone from Dar es Salaam?
Good evening, David, and good evening, viewers. Dar es Salaam is cool this evening, and we are mourning in a peaceful manner, and we are receiving condolences for the passing on our President Magufuli. So thank you for this opportunity to talk to the world viewers. Thank you.
Asante sana ndugu mupenzi. On the left, on the top is Sean Wesonga Daniel. Test the microphone.
Yes, very, very good evening, Dr. Matsanga, David in London. Good evening to our guests, and good evening to our viewers here in Kenya, East Africa, and the rest of the world. Good evening.
Thank you very much. On the right-hand side, Samuel Tawish, the real man, or Sisana, a veteran journalist broadcaster, right from the CBD or some serious can I call it peri-urban status of Nairobi. Thank you very much. Is that good English? Peri-urban
that is good.
Status. Yes.
That is good, Dr. Matsanga. Thank you so much, Dr. Matsanga. Sinu Songa, good to see you once more. And of course, our guest panelist also from Tanzania. I want to say that it's a beautiful evening right here at the heart of Kenya's capital in Nairobi. But again, as we continue to mourn the demise or the passing on of our beloved President John Pombe Magufuli of Tanzania, that is why we are here tonight, at least to try and tackle the topics that have been brought forward. Dr. Matsanga, over to you.
Thank you very much. Tawish Olesana, a veteran anchor, journalist, correspondent, special assignment editor of Dr. David Matsanga, The Legacy Thread. Thank you very much. You're welcome. Thank you again, Javani Karanja from Nanyuki. Good evening, my brother.
Good evening to you, Dr. David Matsanga, and my fellow panelists. Today, we are here to mourn the gallant son of soil who have fallen down. Therefore, we are ready to discuss the issues and the topic of discussion. Thanks for having me on the show.
Thank you very much. More people will join us on the way. Thank you. Let's kick start. I will start by giving you a background short. Presidents of Tanzania so far. President Julius Mwalimu Nyerere, 1962 to 1985. President Ali Hassan Mwinyi from the island of Zanzibar, 1985 to 1995. President Benjamin Mkapa from the mainland, 1995 to 2005. He retired. He did his term very well, a very great guy, a very good man who did the peace process in Kenya. Well done, Mkapa, you, the late Mkapa died before Magufuli. President Nyerere also passed away. I think, yes, Dr. Severin Alute will correct me if I am wrong. Jakaya Chikwete, my great comrade, a former foreign minister of Tanzania, who rose to the rank of the President of the Republic of Tanzania from 2005 to 2015. The late John Pombe Magufuli from 2015 to 17th March 2021. First of all, I give you a quick background. Behind all this, Magufuli have looked for the most outstanding things that Mr. Magufuli did during his tenure of office. One, he recalled the EU, its ambassador to Tanzania over Magufuli's LBGT. He recalled his ambassador. He told him he doesn't care. That's one. Two, Magufuli skipped the United Nations General Assembly. He has gone down, he has not gone there before. And he said there was no need of going. Three, Magufuli denounced the United Nations Human Rights Report on Tanzania about the human rights abuses. Five, Magufuli deported UNDP CR head in Tanzania. Magufuli deported the head of EU delegation in Tanzania. The European Union stopped its financial support to Tanzania after that. President Magufuli, the late, denounced EU East African trade deal as a form of neocolonialism. 9, Magufuli said the European Union had declared him a dictator because of the reports that had been taken by the diplomats. 11 or 10, President Pombe Magufuli refused to bow to the new world order of the way things work the way things could do. He went to China and got his loan. He went out corruption, fighting corruption, like the man of Philippines. Mr. Severin Alute will tell us what went wrong. Everybody has good things and bad things. But let's look at the legacy. 11, Magufuli refuses to put Tanzania under WHO COVID-19 guidelines. 12, Magufuli says COVID-19, pray and pray. It's not a very good thing, but let's have prayers. It's a scam. I'm talking facts here. And 13, President Magufuli refused to take loans and grants from world bodies to deal with COVID-19. Number 14, the president welcomes Madagascar's traditional vaccine for COVID. The Pan-African went to Madagascar. You remember when this medicine was got, the Tanzanian president, the Madagascar president said he had some medicine for COVID-19. Indeed, it worked at the beginning, but later on, it became a problem. 15, Magufuli refused to allow Tanzania to buy or order any COVID-19 vaccine from the West or anywhere. 16, may his soul rest in peace, my African brother. That is the background, Dr. Sarevin Alute. Can I start with you, sir? You have seen some of those, some actions that His Excellency President Magufuli took. Some of them protected Tanzania and pleased African Pan-Africanism. What do you think you will attribute him more to and relate to as we look at his legacy? Over to you, Sarevin Alute, doctor from Dar es Salaam.
Thank you, Doctor, for the introduction, which you really, of the issues that President Magufuli, during his time in the office, he looked at them and he also took a serious measure against what was he pursued as a protection for the Tanzania and the Africans, and as well as protecting the interest of African. So those are few that you mentioned, and those are the ones that at least they are on international level. But we have so many lists that was under his time in the office that he did within the country. Especially, he focused on corruption. He did quite a massive corruption issues that he was pursuing all those corrupt leaders, as well looking at the policies and the law that governing the corruptions. Also, he dealt very well with the issues regarding to drugs. You know, most of the young people, they were drug abusers, and we had a number of young people who the nation need them for the production, their energy needed for investment and working as a working class. They were involved in the drug abusing, but during his time, he looked at the way the operations on drug issues were conducted and issues of corruption dealing with the drugs. He put new figure in that commission, and we see that Tanzania was one of the key country that was using as a drug trafficking country. But for now, we are in good shape, and most of the young people, they are at least in a sober houses, and they have returned to their normal life as a good persons. No drug cases for at least 2 years that they have not had any arrest. So this is was quite good for him to undertake that initiative as well. So we also see a development in infrastructure. For instance, we have so many complete and ongoing construction. Talk of the ports, roads, airport, and also purchasing of aircraft, railway construction. So there's also issues of power. They have he initiated the project that was initially designed by Julius Nyerere in 1970s, and it was come to halt with the unknown reason. But during his time, he revived that project, and is going to produce at least 2,000 megawatts to generate power in Tanzania and as well in neighboring country. So that are the things. There are some issues that people are complaining about that he did not do well. As you mentioned the challenge, but especially the press freedom, the issue of he did not do well. So I think it was a reason for that, for not to put much effort on democracy, because I think he has his own mission that he wanted to pursue. That's why he wanted like people not to distract him, so that he can achieve what he wanted. So if you look at what Magufuli was doing, it's like he wanted to accomplish a certain mission in a very short period of time. So it's like he was running to see that before maybe his time passed on, he completed what he was trying to do. So that what he was trying to push, and he was emphasizing every time when he stood speaking to the people. He was emphasizing that you are going to remember me when I'm gone. So please bear with me. I'm going to do project A, project B, and you will see the result when I'm gone. So it's like he wanted to achieve certain things that in a very short period of time. So regarding COVID-19 approach, he has a very unique approach. I can attest that in last year we achieved something out of that. We had very few cases, and many Tanzania were going well with their normal activities, and there were no lockdown, there were no social distancing. People were not using masks or whatever, and we did not have many cases. It's just this recent that we had issues of COVID, and people. I think this is second wave where most people were infected, and we had some little bit of numbers of death. But I think it is maybe the second wave was a little bit of stronger than the last year. There were a little bit of reluctant to most of the people. The last year we had our own precaution. We observed all of the precaution that we were advised by the healthy officers, and we did quite well. And his approach was unique, but which was against what was advised by the WHO and the other international institution. But I think what he was doing is quite unique, and people may blame him for what he was trying to achieve. But for last year, I can assure that it was quite well with us. But this year, things is becoming tough. So maybe to begin the topic, I can share those few points. I can come later of other issues as well.
Thank you very much, Dr. Saverin Alute from Dar es Salaam. My comrade, you have actually brought out Magufuli stopped drugs at the coast in Dar es Salaam. It was a point for drugs. He has built infrastructure. He fought corruption. He bought aircrafts. He's building power stations of 2,000 megawatts. He's done quite a lot of things in Tanzania internally. He was a man of the people. a man who could solve justice there and then. He could go at a rally and solve justice and say, okay, Commissioner, where are you? Why have you not paid this woman? Why are you evicting this woman? That's the kind of leadership that the late Pombe Magufuli had. Daniel Wesong, you have heard from Sabirin, Dr. Sabirin Alute from Dar es Salaam in Tanzania. They love their man. He did some good things, but he might have stepped on some other things, because we are coming to that aspect. We are looking at both local, from Nyerere to that perspective to today. Did he run so fast to finish Nyerere's agenda? I think that is what Dr. Saverin was trying to say. He wanted to finish the agenda of Mwalimu Nyerere, because I remember in the 70s, that was what Mwalimu wanted. He wanted to hear those things. He wanted to see people. He did not want people to have drugs, to drink, to take cocaine. He did not want people to talk about taking money. Remember his Prime Minister Sokoine, who ended up in trouble and ended up fighting corruption. He instructed him to fight corruption. You remember Mr. Murema. You all know these names. Thank you very much. Wesonga, your view, those two.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Matsanga. I've listened to Dr. Severin Aluta, and what I can say, when you look down the history lane, you notice that Dr. John Pombe Magufuli was a reincarnation of former former President Mwalimu Julius Nyerere in so many aspects. First of all, you could see his passion that he had for his people in ensuring that Tanzanians had a better life, in working to deliver on the projects that are actually right now, many of them are ongoing in Tanzania. His ideology on how civil servants were supposed to deliver on government projects. That is the similar work that Mwalimu Julius Nyerere did through Ujamaa socialism. When you look at Magufuli, his demeanor, the kind of person he was a very simple person. He could easily mingle with people, go to church, and be able to mingle easily with the congregation. And that is what Mwalimu Julius Nyerere was. And it should not be forgotten, Dr. Matsanga, that it is due to this, his humility, his loyalty, and his dependability that he was fronted to the party by the late President Mkapa to take over from former President Jakaya Kikwete. So to me, I think Africa has lost an icon. We've lost a servant leader for the people of Tanzania, and President John Pombe Magufuli will go down the history lane as one of the leaders who tried to promote the spirit of Pan-Africanism amongst the people of Africa, the people of Tanzania, and ensuring that at the end of the day, his people get a very fair deal when working with other international partners. That is what he will be remembered for. He may have erred on one or two occasions, but as you said, it is within the African culture that whenever a man passes on, we do not dwell on the trivialities that they engaged on, but we do tend to lean towards remembering them for the great work they did. And as President John Magufuli goes today, he will be remembered as one man, one president who tried to revolutionize and bring life to how leadership we used to run affairs in the government of the Republic of Tanzania. That is my sentiments, Dr. Matsanga.
Thank you very much. You have brought up serious points there that we shall look at. He wanted to accomplish Nyerere's legacy. That's why the doctor in Dar es Salaam has told us he was running fast. But in this running fast, might he have stepped on people's toes? Because always there's one fury behind any struggle. The one that you remove from power when whites colonized Africa. We removed them from our churches. We took over our schools, our roads, our offices, our land. but they have forgiven us. Have they forgiven us? Have they forgotten about the land? Have they forgotten about the diamonds in Shinyanga? Do they have those diamonds in their areas, in the metros? If you have somebody who is Patrice Lumumba type, Patrice Lumumba wanted to make Congo the mining country of Africa. And you know how many countries in the whole Europe, students watching this TV must understand which countries in Europe do mining coal in America. But we have diamonds sitting in Shinyanga, near where Dr. Saverin Alute comes from, my friend. Very big depots of diamonds. The best diamond that you can have in Africa. Can people forgive us about that? Or have they forgotten that those diamonds exist? Are we being haunted by the past colonial systems? Tawish, I come to you, my brother. This is Matsanga Africa perspective. My perspective is open to defend Africa, where Africa can be defended. Where Africa makes a mistake, I also say, on this position, I am with the people of Tanzania and with Magufuli. Because he's dead, I can't accuse him, he will not come to answer. I have been a great friend of Pombe Magufuli, and I have not hidden that. You know that very well. On our shows, you and I, we have stood firm, and I said, he has tackled one thing called corruption, which kills Kenya, which kills Uganda. Our countries are gone because of corruption. Yes, you can call Magufuli all the names, but across there in Tanzania, if you touch the government money, utaweka ndani. In this place where we are, in Uganda, where he was born, it is a free fall for all, for any corruption. Corruption has killed everything. Centralized and spread corruption. Two types, centralized and spread. Uganda has a centralized and Kenya has spread corruption. But Magufuli came to power. He wanted to accomplish Nyerere's dream by sweeping out drug dealers. He blew up all the things, arrested all the drug magnates around Dar es Salaam, like the president of the Philippines. People made noise. He said, you don't eat human rights. You eat, when the man has drugs and gets a gun to kill 2,000 people, you will not say, those are not human. Why didn't the Tanzanian government protect? So Tawish, look at that man who took over after 4 presidents in the middle were gone.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Matsanga and the rest of the panelists in the studio. Of course, wherever you are tuned in from and the audience. Dr. Matsanga, this particular program will not have come at a better time, especially when the continent of Africa, when the East Africa region, when the people of Tanzania are actually mourning the demise of a great son of Africa in the name of John Pombe Magufuli. I mean, what else can I say? I've heard from Dr. Severin Alute all the way from Dar es Salaam. I've heard from my brother, Sinwe Songa, from yourself, Dr. David Matsanga, high voltage operative himself, who has been talking about all these things from all this time. And of course, my other brother, that is Karaja from Nanyuki. What else can I say, Dr. Matsanga, about this great man? Indeed, these other gentlemen who spoke ahead before me have actually said almost everything that I would have said. But again, I just want to echo or amplify the person of John Pombe Magufuli and the kind of exemplary leadership that he inspired among the people of Africa and more so the East African region. You've talked about the issue of corruption, Dr. Matsanga, which has remained a very big monster in this continent and in this region. It has been killing countries. It has killed livelihoods. We have seen the economic lives of these regions actually being destroyed because of corruption. But again, Dr. John Pombe Magufuli has come out he came out in full swing and in full force to ensure that he slays this dragon of corruption in Tanzania. And I think that may not have gone down well with some people, but I'm sure the people of Tanzania are grateful for what President Magufuli did in as far as the fight against corruption or graft is concerned in Tanzania. Our brother Severin has also talked about the issue of infrastructure. This is also key when it comes to economic development of any given nation. The railway, the building of the standard gauge railways. He's talked about the airports. He's talked about the roads. He's talked about how he has empowered the people of Tanzania economically. He's also spoken about how President Magufuli came out actually to ensure that he cuts costs, especially when it comes to public servants in the public service, because you've seen he had to cut down on some of the celebrations, including the Independence Day. He had to cut down on, foreign trips for civil servants. He has had to do so many things to ensure that at least more of this money goes back and helps to build Tanzania instead of it being just used for maybe I would say luxury trips. Himself, Dr. John Pombe Magufuli did cut his salary, I believe, by over 60% to ensure that this money as well, living by example, that this money goes to help other people or build the economy of Tanzania. So what else can we say about this great man of Tanzania? I mean, he's lived the example of other presidents who came before him, and I think he's also had to learn from Julius Nyerere, the first president of Tanzania. He's had to learn from Hassan Mwinyi. He's had to learn from Jakaya Mrisho Kikwete, Benjamin Mkapa, those all presidents who have come before him. And now we have, of course, Samia Suluhu, who had actually deputized him, who is the president designate as we speak now. I believe the people of Tanzania now have that opportunity to support this lady who has been with President Magufuli. She's demonstrated that leadership capacity, and I think moving forward, Tanzania has to remain united. By doing so, they'll be leaving the legacy of President Magufuli, and not only him, the legacy that was left behind by the Pan-Africanists and the likes of Nyerere himself, the likes of Kwame Nkrumah, you've talked about, Dr. Matsanga, the likes of Jomo Kenyatta, the likes of Obote from Uganda. So the people of Tanzania are living up to this challenge to ensure that they continue with that right trajectory. They did not deviate, they did not slip off from the right lane of history by ensuring that they live up to the legacy of President John Pombe Magufuli. But later on, when we return, maybe we'll be talking about some of the shortfalls, like Dr. Matsanga mentioned, that in African culture, we are not used to dancing to the graves of the dead. But again, maybe there will be a few issues regarding the COVID-19 protocols that maybe President Magufuli may not have done right, at least according to some experts or health experts. The issue of maybe stifling the voice of opponents. You've had people claiming and running up and down saying maybe he did not give an open space for them. So there are some of the things we'll be mentioning, but again, like Sinwe Songa said, the issues or the things that President Magufuli did cannot be trivialized by a few things, including the noises that have been coming up from the opposition and maybe the civil rights organization, because again, what he has done positively for the people of Tanzania outweighs the negative aspect of it. Dr. Matsanga, over to you.
Thank you very much, Tawish, Samuel Tawish. It is very, very important. And thank you very much, Sean. And thank you very much, Sarabin. Let me bring in Karanja. Karanja, let me read this thing for you. His dramatic interventions appeared to shake the utilities out of their torpor, T-O-R-P-O-R, and corrupt practices. He developed and delivered some basic infrastructure, including roads and energy. All of this was long overdue. Do you think the people in opposition, the businessmen like Lundu, Tundu, Lusu, who are shouting everywhere, the NGOs that surround Africa, Karanja,
Yes.
did they help? Did they sit down? Did they mourn too much? Did they go beyond a degree of destruction? What is your say? From Nyerere to Magufuli, changes, challenges, obstacles, and success. Way forward. Yes, take
Yeah,
it.
thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. David Matsanga, and for the contribution made by panelists who have spoken before me. I might say that I buy the ideas and opinion, because truly Magufuli was a Pan-Africanist. And one thing that he did is to stand for the people of Tanzania and to ensure that their interest is priority number one. And I remember him ensuring that they get an environment to do business that is conducive, by ensuring that to some extent he even closed the boundaries to ensure that the business environment in their country is not saturated by business by businessmen from other countries. That to me was good, because he protected the interest of the people of Tanzania. In terms of infrastructure, he has done quite well, and he is in the books of records that he has done infrastructure with a low budget compared to what is being done in other countries. To me, that is exemplary and excellent job, because we know in other parts of Africa, the same infrastructures cost thrice or even more to what cost was incurred in Tanzania. Therefore, he ensured that public service and public resources are well protected, something that is not quite common with Africa, with other African leaders. Number two, President Magufuli reduced the number of his cabinet from 30-something to around 19, to ensure that he saves on the money that goes, the wages and salary that goes to pay the public servant. To me, that was a very prudent way of doing things, because at the end of the day, he ensured that a lot of money is saved and is channeled toward development. That is the way I remember President Magufuli, in terms of ensuring that he protects the taxes of the people of Tanzania. Therefore, he is a true, and I hope other Africa leaders should emulate him when it comes of putting the interest of their people as a first priority. Number three, and finally, Dr. David Matsanga, the issue of tribalism, the issue of segregation in Tanzania is a word of past. Julius Nyerere ensured that the people of Tanzania are incorporated, they are integrated, and today, nobody speaks of tribes. They speak of ujamaa, they speak of jumuiya ya umoja wa Tanzania. That to me is something that is very significant, because we have seen in other parts of Africa, people fighting, people going into chaos because of tribalism, because of negative ethnic mobilization by our political players, but that one doesn't play in politics in Tanzania. Therefore, Magufuli ensured what was started by Julius Nyerere in terms of integrating the people of Tanzania and the people of Zanzibar is achieved, and today they celebrate. Nobody speaks of Wasukuma, nobody speaks of where they come from in terms of the tribe identification, but they speak with one voice of people of Tanzania. To me, that especially we Kenyans, that is something that we lack, and per se Tanzania have outdone us, because here in Kenya we talk of tribes, we talk of the big tribes when it comes to political mobilization. But Magufuli, he came from a small tribe, but he was able to maneuver his way all the way to the presidency, because not of where he comes from, not of who he is, not of where he was born, but because of his servant, because of skills of leadership. That to me is something that we Africans need to emulate, and we ensure that we vote leaders not because of where they come from, but because of their service. I have looked at the history of Magufuli since he joined politics in 1995, and you could see the kind of transformation, the kind of revolutionary, the kind of good agendas and ideologies that he has for the people of Tanzania. To me, I see that when you stay in politics for that long, you need to have something, you need to have a tangible substance that you can go out there and take as your legacy. To me, President Pombe Magufuli, the gallant son of soil, has lived a legacy of ensuring that the dream of Mwalimu Julius Nyerere, and by a fact, John Pombe Magufuli is also a teacher. He was a chemistry and mathematics teacher. Therefore, they happen to share a lot of in common with first founding president, Julius Nyerere. Thank you, Dr. David Matsanga.
Thank you very much. Javani Karanja from Nanyuki in central Kenya. Thank you very much. In the mountains of Aberdares, down the slopes, the plains. Thank you very much. This is Matsanga Africa Perspective Show, the only show on the continent that discusses Africa. If you miss this show, then you have missed yourself. If you don't want to hear the best, if you don't want to hear the worst, come and hear the best in our show. We always bring the right information. We bring it, and up to the end, the truth, accountability. We don't lack it. We have evidence. Thank you very much. We are joined by Douglas Budi Kirimi, right from another place in Kenya, in Meru. Good evening, Douglas. Quickly, we have summarized from Nyerere to Magufuli. What strikes you? What brings you out? What brings the whole Tanzania, leaves the legacy? How do you see Tanzania moving forward? How do you see Tanzania becoming strong? How do you see Tanzania united? How do you see people no longer taking drugs? And we see them going to start taking drugs because Magufuli is gone. We have been told by Dr. Alute that he stopped drugs, like a Kenyatta blew up a ship in the Indian Ocean. How many people in Kenya remember that ship that went in flames? Some people were even threatening to shoot the president. But today, they have come to terms. Thank you very much, Douglas. Pick your points. Say your points. Pick them up. Somalia is watching.
Thank you, Dr. David Matsanga from the Political Command Center. And thank you to everyone of our viewers and also to my friends, the co-panelists. From Nyerere to Magufuli, where they have taken Tanzania. Remember, Nyerere, Julius Nyerere Kabarange Nyerere was the founding father of Tanzania, and he was a president of the poor people. He fought for the rights of the poor people, the integration of the poor people, integrating different communities and making sure that Tanzania becomes one big united family. And they did that with the passion and also commitment to their country, and they united their country from Zanzibar to the mainland Tanganyika. And they did that and they achieved that. Their ways of doing that would have been, in many ways, could have been with their challenges, but they achieved that. For President John Pombe Joseph Magufuli, he was able to bring development to the poor people. He was able to bring justice to the poor people. It is not once or twice we saw the pain Magufuli earned when advocating for the poor people of Tanzania. The oroi poroi, the poor people that cannot afford justice in the corridors of justice, is when the rich people sit on the voices of poor people. Magufuli has spoken for them. Magufuli spoke for them. Magufuli stood for them. And Magufuli himself said that when he is gone, when God takes him, he shall be remembered by the people of Tanzania because he gave his life. He sacrificed his life for the fight of the poor man. Magufuli is a president that showed or exposed traits of a leader that cares for his own people and made sure that the poor person in Tanzania and a voice, a poor person in Magufuli administration and a voice from the beginning days of his administration to the dying days of his administration. His relentless fight for the poor people is a classic example of what the former founding father, President Julius Nyerere, did in Tanzania. He was fighting for the poor people, for their rights, and also for the right of the poor people to get education, to get development from here, no matter where they come from. have seen from Mwanza, from Moshi, from Tabora, from Zanzibar, and everywhere. They have spoken passionately and said how the transformative leadership of John Pombe Joseph Magufuli has been able to bring a Midas touch into their lives. And this is what other leaders can be able to learn from Tanzania, that their leaders have been able to stand for the rights of their people, that their leaders have been able to bring transformative infrastructural projects into the lives of their people. These can only be likened to the transformative agenda of President Uhuru Kenyatta in terms of development, in terms of road network, in terms of the railway, the SGR, the airports that have been built, the bus terminals in Tanzania, and everything that Magufuli has touched, the water systems that he has been able to put in place. Long live the spirit of Magufuli, long live the defiant spirit of Magufuli, a fighting man that has been fighting for the poor people in Tanzania. And another notable issue, Dr. Matsanga, as I conclude, that Magufuli fought for and stood for in Tanzania is the fight and also for the rights of miners in Tanzania, so that when they mine, their issues and their profits cannot be taken away by the cartels. President Kenyatta helped him to cut away and take back the gold that was stolen and the money that was stolen from the people of Tanzania, the smuggled gold from the poor miners in Tanzania, the wall that he built around the Murerani mines so that he can protect the resources of the people of Tanzania. A true patriot, a true Pan-African, a true man to the letter and spirit of their constitution, a man that fought for the brand and the soil and the country of Tanzania, a great leader that we shall always remember. Rest in peace, John Pombe Joseph Magufuli. Thank you, Dr. Matsanga.
Thank you very much. We move on to the second part of, or the third part of our show before we conclude. Opposition leaders in Tanzania have cried foul. Some of them have been issuing statements from foreign capitals, including this morning I had an interview on this television station where Mr. Tudu was on, and I really fixed him. He had to agree that I was right. It is not time for Africans to dance on the grave of a dead man. But they were asking him, why was he writing all these text messages, Twitter handles into Tanzania? Sovereign, you grew up in Ujamaa villages. You were taught discipline, Dr. Alute. You were taught discipline. What really happened to our opposition in Africa? Do we really have opposition, or we have NGOs of international nature that have disguised themselves under Tanzanians or Ugandans or Kenyans pretending to be opposition? What is your take?
Thank you, Doctor. Two perspectives. It might be opposition. It might be people in power. We have this kind of tendency when we got power. We tend to be our own clinch, and we don't want other people to come closer. So every time whoever is opposing the one in power is chased away or is frustrated, just to make sure people are staying in power for quite some time and they are unopposed. So I'm seeing it in two perspectives, as the reason could be from the opposition themselves, and the other reason could be from the people in power. So we have to learn to accommodate different perspective, different view, and we need also to take that other opinion and use that opinion to build our countries. I don't think that opposition is a bad thing for Africa. We need opposition in order to build our countries, both in economic aspect and as well as a democratic aspect. In Tanzania, we have different issues from Mwalimu Nyerere and from Magufuli as well, because their leadership style is quite a little bit of similar, although Nyerere was quite different, where he was a kind of a person who can accept opposition and accept different opinion and weigh and make his own decision. But some other, the late Magufuli, it was quite different. He wanted to achieve his mission, so he did not want the other people to interfere with him. So I think with the opposition, that was a problem.
Alute, let me ask a real question. Alute, Dr. Alute, let me ask you, as a Tanzanian, is there an opposition in Tanzania, or there is a group of MDs, a group of NGOs funded to destroy what Mwalimu Nyerere built? Why?
There was opposition.
Let me roll it the question better. Why is it that it is only the European countries crying more about the human rights abuses in Tanzania? Why is it that it's the European countries blocking money to Tanzania and not any other country? Why is it that it is only in Tanzania that you have an opposition saying bring sanctions? This morning, this man, Mr. Tudu, was saying he has been calling for sanctions, but he doesn't know that sanctions will eat all people. We have seen Zimbabwe across near you and I have been in Zimbabwe. You have seen how Zimbabwe, it started that way. Is this the real opposition we want in Africa? Be honest to me. Do we really need that opposition? Even if it was not the question of Magufuli, do we really need an opposition of that nature, which calls for sanctions to bite their own people?
I think what we need in Africa, we need to look at what we are running, the kind of politics that we are running. We need to find our own way of conducting our democracy. That is what we quite need. We don't want something similar to what is happening in Europe or America or any other country. We need to have a kind of African democracy that is within Africa and is accepted to all African. I think this kind of paste and copy democracy systems from other countries is what is eating us a lot, that's why you are referring the support from certain countries in Europe or in America, because that's what they wanted it to happen in other countries like Tanzania and some other countries in Africa. So what we are using is we are trading on their kind of democracy, kind of their democracy style is not fit to most of our countries. So we need to have a kind of democracy that is fitting to Africa and fitting to most of our countries. So instead of copying from other countries. I think that is a huge problem that we are facing, because we don't know. We have a different way of living. We have our own tradition. We have our own cultural aspect. We have a lot of things. Even economically, we have a different economic system that we are running in Africa. So we need a kind of democracy that fits to what we are the democracy that fits to what really we are up to in every day of our life. I think the democracy that we are having today is not fitting to what we live. It's not fitting to what we believe. That's why even issues of homosexual and so forth is not fitting to our democracy. So we need to have a kind of democracy that is fitting to us. And this kind of running kind of problems that we are facing today. Today you are mentioning Tundu Lissu, tomorrow you're going to mention other person, because we are trading with them. We are trading on their system of governing, their system of life, and which is not fitting to us. I think I will respond to that, Dr. Matsanga.
Yeah, you have done,
because that's what I see.
You have really given me the clue. You have given me the clue, and I can see you are saying in simple terms that the type of democracy that we have tried to copy from the West does not suit the type of conditions on the ground in Africa. Do you agree on that, Tawish?
Well, Dr. Matsanga, thanks so much. In fact, I was really yearning for this chance, rather opportunity, to try and come in when Dr. Severin was speaking. But again, I think it is okay because he's summed it up all. Dr. Matsanga, I wanted to respond on the aspect of the opposition. I think maybe the point you're missing here is that we need opposition, but one which is constructive. Opposition with some aspect of nationalism. Opposition which really works for the interests of the people, but not necessarily at the behest of the international or the foreign powers. And I think that is where actually we have been failing as a continent or as a people. When you have the opposition or the NGOs in the name of opposition, people who are hiding behind opposition, but again, when you get into detail to get to understand exactly, they are working for the NGOs, they're working for some Western powers to try and destabilize countries. So I think the opposition, to some extent, are not doing as much as is required of them, because they've been taken advantage by the Western powers who want to manipulate activities in these respective countries. Dr. Matsanga, you've given an example of Tundu Lissu, the main opposition in Tanzania, who is currently on exile in Belgium. I saw you having an interview with him early this morning. And when you listen to Tundu Lissu, you quite do not understand. Is this a kind of an alternative government? Is this a kind of a person who wants to lead an alternative government in an unlikely scenario that maybe gets a chance? Because again, instead of mourning with the people of Tanzania, instead of celebrating the life of John Pombe Magufuli, who was coming out in a way that looks like he's mocking his death, comes out as a man who is like was scavenging for the demise of Magufuli, so that maybe he can get the opportunity to lead the people of Tanzania uninterrupted. I think most of the people, maybe, or the panelists, may not be comfortable with that. But I think from a person who's been watching and listening to this speak ever since when we had the reports or rumors about John Pombe Magufuli's sickness and eventual death, it doesn't come out as an alternative voice for the people of Tanzania, but as scavenger who was just waiting for the demise or for an opportunity to grab power and nothing else about the service for the people. And I think that is almost a similar case with virtually all opposition leaders in Africa. How have the NGOs been operating with opposition leaders in Africa today? You go into a certain country, you find opposition NGOs working with a certain opposition leader, but once that person gets into power, again, they start working with a fresh opposition leader. What does that tell you? It is not more of the person who was in power. It is about the interests of these people, the interests of these NGOs that are being perpetuated by external forces, and not necessarily for the people that they purport to represent or to address the issues that are actually affecting them. So, Dr. Matsanga, what we need for our opposition, because I don't quite want to give a blanket kind of condemnation and say all opposition is bad for Africa. There are our opposition leaders, opposition parties that are working for the interests of the people. We need to support them. But again, those that have been infiltrated and are working at the behest of the Western power conspirators need to be told, Dr. Matsanga, and call for what or who they are, Dr. Matsanga.
Jawish, as you finish, and Dr. Alute, as I bring in Wesonga, surely, if you look at across Africa, there is no election that does not end up in bloodshed. It is now a norm. Let's agree everywhere. So far since COVID-19 started, there have been about 10 elections conducted in Africa. None of them has, apart from Ghana and South Africa, none of them has gone peaceful. Tanzanian one you saw, this same man called Tundu was locked up in a house. They had a scuffle with the government. The one of Uganda you saw for yourselves, tear gas, arrests. At one time I could not look at the TV because if you are running and the car is making, you are running and the policeman has put you on a car to run with it. How soon can you run and how fast can you run? Look at it. All these places where elections, Central African Republic, Sierra Leone, the election of Senegal now, Niger. Look at the problems that are taking place there now. These are places all over Africa where opposition does not agree to the results, including Matumbulu, including Machakos. We don't know what people will say tomorrow where we are where you people are in Kenya. So it has come to a situation that Magufuli found a terrifying opposition, an opposition being funded, logistically equipped, supported by Western Hemisphere dollars to destabilize the nation. And that is a fact. Let's not run away from it. We know what is happening in Zimbabwe. For example, the opposition leader in Zimbabwe has formed people's government. In Uganda, we have people's government formed. You know, they have one common denominator, that they form people's government every time they talk about power. They form people's governments to go on with strikes, demonstration. As long as I bring you in and with your thoughts, do you think Africa needs to follow first to tackle corruption, drugs, build infrastructure, buy aircraft? Or do you think it should talk about democracy and elections when you don't have elections at all? What do you think?
Thank you, Dr. Matsanga. And of course, I've had a very good opinion from my brother Samuel Tarish. I've also heard from Dr. Severin from Tanzania. And one thing I can say, Dr. is that the greatest undoing that the African nationalists did soon after our own independence was to give away our old systems of governance and to replace it with the colonial structure of governance. And the problem has always been that, we adopted a system of governance which we did not have an equal structure that could sustain this kind of governance. And without a structure to sustain a democratic kind of leadership, then we can never be able to govern ourselves. And that is why we've always had problems when it comes to elections. When you look down the history, Dr. Matsanga, you realize that the kind of leadership that we had as a people, as Africans, it was some kind of a monarchy, some kind of bordering a monarchy and a dictatorial kind of regime, where we had only one kind of a fiefdom or maybe a leader who had an absolute authority over the rest of the community members. And therefore, democracy was a very unwelcome kind of structure. It was not very concrete to what our people were expecting in terms of even our cultural practices and beliefs. So therefore, that is what is bringing that kind of a push and pull. And to make it work, really, we have to, first of all, strengthen the tenets of democracy amongst even the opposition. When you look at Tundu Lissu, when you look at all the other opposition leaders across Africa, the SI unit that describes them is that these opposition leaders, opposition parties become the conduits of NGO money, and they are never there for the to advocate for the grievances of the people, or maybe who are being maybe oppressed or maybe being neglected by the government, but are there to make money and to be the voices of rather the external foreign forces, as my brother Tarisha said. So to me, Dr. Matsanga, the main problem that Africa should first tackle before it looks towards growing to prominence is to tackle the issue of elections, because many African countries have gone into mayhem due to bungled elections, and this comes as a result of the ghost we call the democracy in Africa. We have, first of all, to tweak this democracy to go hand in hand with our African heritage, with our African beliefs, and our former system of governance that we used to have before the colonialists came. Lastly, before I wrap up my thought, Dr. Matsanga, I would really like to condemn the conduct with which Tundu Lissu has carried himself with in terms of to the demise of President John Pombe Magufuli. We all know that when Nelson Mandela was putting together his book, The Long Walk to Freedom, he said that he sat down and he realized that if he walked out of prison and still kept the kind of bitterness that he had towards the apartheid regime that jailed him for 27 years, then he will not be a free man, he'll still be a prisoner. And that is what Tundu Lissu should look at. He should not go on besmirching a dead man. He should not go on talking ill of President John Pombe Magufuli. That's not an African culture. It is not in accordance with the Pan-Africanism that we always advocate for. That is my sentiment in regards to that, Dr. Matsanga.
Thank you very much. It is opposition in Africa. Do we really have opposition? We have one guest who has just joined, Ambassador Ghana Maina, who believes in union opposition. He doesn't like to hear the word opposition. He wants to use a union Africa, because opposition in Africa, some of them don't know what they oppose. Some of them call sanctions. Some of them, Changarai was calling for sanctions to come and eat Zimbabwe. So many people look at in Kampala. Everybody is even, some people don't know if this power is given to them. They could even run mad about it. They don't know how to handle tools of instruments or instruments of power. So do we really have opposition in Africa, and how best can opposition in Africa unite to become constructive? Ghana Maina, Ambassador from Paris. How are you, sir?
Good evening, Doctor. Good evening, the panel. How are you today?
Fine, thank you.
Great, you're fine.
I see the topic is so wonderful. As I was saying earlier this morning, that opposition leaders are just wasting our time, our energy in Africa, because we are trying even to come together to suspend the election. So why do we need opposition? We need us to come together to build their country. 90% of opposition leaders in Africa are not doing anything, that they spend all their time criticizing the government. And 90% of those opposition leaders, they never held the important position in African government in any country. Go and find out. They have nothing to offer. They spend all their time criticizing and criticizing. We all know that today, if we give Tundu Lissu 5 years in Tanzania, he will never do what Magufuli have done. Everybody in the panel agree with me. Am I right or wrong, Dr. Matsanga? So we don't want people now to criticize. We need action. Let us go back to see which position this Tundu Lissu has taken in Tanzania. Have done something important, that we have a legacy. He don't even have one. You can't criticize someone that you don't know how to farm, and you never even farm 1 square meters. And you say my farming is not good, Dr. Matsanga. If I'm farming more than 10 hectares of land and you never farm 1 square, and you are criticizing mine, when do you want us to do? It's not going to work. These opposition parties, we need to, plead to make them disappear. We don't need them. We not now. We need a union. Africa needs union to come together to have one agenda. This agenda is what is needed for us. In earlier, our brothers, Professor Nyerere says we need a strategy redemption to come together to agree where did we get wrong, and where have you going to be for the next 5 or 10 years. How are we going to come together to build our country? This strategy redemption is one of the best. We don't want the opposition leaders. It's become like a football. We don't want it no more, Dr. Matsanga. Back to you.
Thank you very much, viewers. Thank you very much, Pano. Javani Karanja, on your parting shot, which way Tanzania? Because I want Sovereign to be the last man to speak, to tell us which way to go. But you kick start, which way as we go down, which way Tanzania? A united country, a peaceful country, no tribalism, speak one language, a conservative society. Will Madame Sululu, will Madame the Vice President be able to steer this country across the waters of Indian Ocean, unite the calm waters, and push CCM to do the last round under Article 37 of your Constitution, of the Constitution of the Republic of Tanzania? How much support does he have, Javan Karanja? Is she a person who can determine get the grip of the state and say, I am driving corruption like my predecessor, like my person did? Is she able? Javani Karanja.
Yeah, thank you.
Enter that storm. Tell us that storm. From Nyerere to Magufuli, which way now? We have seen the faults. We have agreed that in Africa, South Africa perspective, we don't dance on people's graves. Tawish, Arute, Esonga, Maina, we don't dance on people's graves. It is an abomination. But that's which way does Tanzania go? Which way?
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. David Matsanga. And before I answer that question, let me say one thing about the issue of opposition. One, what we have is NGOs in the name of opposition, people who just come around because of the money they are getting from some external quotas, and they behave like they want to have a regime change. Therefore, what we have in Africa in most countries is not opposition. These are just people who are there to get some funds and to act like they are championing for the interest of people. But if they happen to be given that space to lead their countries, I think they will not do it any better than the leaders that they fight day in and day out. Therefore, this kind of NGO democracy is what we need to shut, and we have our own inbuilt democracy in an African way. On the issue of where Tanzania heads now, I think the foundation is already there under Julius Nyerere and previous president, and John Pombe Magufuli has continued to work on foundation that was laid by Mwalimu Julius Nyerere to unite the people of Tanzania, to ensure that they're united as one country, to ensure that the policy of bringing them together continues. Therefore, I see Madam Samia Suluhu, the president of Tanzania, as we speak, having a soft landing, having a ground that he will work he will work on. She has a manual where he will read from. Therefore, that to me is a very important thing, and I see the spirit of togetherness, the spirit of Tanzania coming together as one country, without looking at the issue of their tribes, without looking at the issue of their regions, continuing with the leadership of Madam President Samia Suluhu as he takes the helms of leadership, because the people of Tanzania, they have been structured, they have been made, their mindset is not in tribalism, their mindset is in unity and ensuring that they take their country together. Therefore, I see Madam working on that legacy. Also on the terms of fighting corruption, he has been the government of Magufuli. I know she has learned one or two, three things when it comes to fight against corruption in the country, because Magufuli was one man who stood tall against all forms of corruption in his country. Therefore, I see Madam President doing it better, or ensuring that he continues with that kind of legacy, because he has been in politics for almost 2 decades. Therefore, she has the experience. She knows the politics of Tanzania way better. She has been a minister. Therefore, I see her having a good and soft landing, ensuring that he continues to make Tanzania great and bringing them together. He should continue on the footstep of Magufuli and the spirit of bringing Tanzania together and the spirit of Africanism. Thank you.
Thank you very much. As we wind up Tawish, let me come to Daniel Wesonga. Which way Tanzania? Which way East Africa? Put in the context.
Yes,
what lessons do presidents in East Africa learn from the experience of the Tanzanian situation? What lessons? What lessons?
Yes, of course, Dr. Matsanga, Tanzania and East Africa and Africa at large has lost a very great leader, a leader who had no equal amongst his peers in John Pombe Magufuli. And therefore, for Tanzanians, what next for them? We wish that they be able to find solace and they be able to oversee a very peaceful transition. And one thing that has come out clearly, Dr. Matsanga, is that for leadership, you do not to be from a certain background for you to be a leader. We've seen Dr. John Pombe Magufuli proving to be a person who has ascended through meritocracy. He was a son of a peasant, but through hard work, through diligence, through being patriotic to his country and being committed to serve his people, he has taken Tanzania to another new level. Tanzania is now a vibrant economy in East Africa and the rest of the African countries. So for the African continent, for East Africa, we need now to carry forward the legacy of President John Pombe Magufuli. We need to ensure that we integrate. We need to make sure that we open our borders, we foster the spirit of Pan-Africanism, and we do support one another by doing trade, by enabling us to travel within our countries, and to just make sure that we cooperate and we keep peace amongst our member states in East Africa and the rest of Africa. That is what I will call for other African leaders and other African countries to take from that.
Thank you very much. Let me come to Tawish.
Very well, Dr. Matsanga. I don't think there's anything far from what really other gentlemen have spoken about, far from asking the people of Tanzania to really live up to the legacy, to live up to the vision and the dream of the founding fathers, especially that of the late Julius Nyerere. Why am I saying so? They have all along lived in a harmonious coexistence, and I think moving forward, especially during this time of transition, when you're having a new president coming in after the demise of President John Pombe Magufuli, we need to see that actually continuity instead of the little political or unnecessary political bickering that you're actually witnessing in Tanzania as it is today. Because again, Tanzania has become or has lived up as an example in this region of the East African community and the entire African continent as one that has observed political tranquility for the longest time. It is not just time for Tanzania to start those small pitfalls of insanities, like Dr. Matsanga usually puts it. It is time for them to embrace one another. It's time for them to hold each other's hand and to walk this journey together, especially during this time of transition, and ensure that they give a befitting send-off to President John Pombe Magufuli, because again, he's done his part and he's gone back to the Mecca. It is time for the people who are remaining behind to come together and think about what best they can do to uplift the lives of the people of Tanzania, what best they can do to see into it that the kind of disintegration that is emanating from especially the opposition leaders can be actually bridged. They can also borrow a leaf from Kenya, because again, I heard Tundu Lissu rather speaking about the fact that maybe he will be coming back to Tanzania. I don't think maybe he hated President Magufuli as a person. I thought maybe he had an issue with the entire administration of John Pombe Magufuli. But if that is the case, the prayer will be that maybe finally he will be embracing this redemption strategy, coming back home to work with the other opposition leaders and to work with the now president designate, that is Samia Suluhu. By the way, Dr. Matsanga and the panelists, Suluhu is a Swahili word which actually means solution in English. So I hope maybe with the small problems that maybe Tanzania could be going through, this Suluhu can provide that solution for the people of Tanzania. I submit, Dr. Matsanga.
Thank you very much. You have taught me something there. Suluhu. Yeah, nilikuwa ninasahau. Suluhu. Ghana Maina. Ambassador.
Yes, Dr.
Summarize for us.
Yes, Dr. The way forward right now, we know that Tanzania has a great leaders. Even after Magufuli, I think the legacy will continue, that 100%. We know anyone who has started to see the light of the day, you will never bring him to the dark, Dr. Matsanga. We all know that. Now Tanzanians start seeing that how their country is moving forward. They have see the equality and the country is moving. There is a progress on the government. The government is doing right. So nobody will agree to go back again to the darkness of this government. And we know that the people who are there right now, they can take over Magufuli and continue the legacy. That's 100%. So concerning the leaders who are not happy because they are just also crying, they want to be in the power and to show that they are also president, I think we don't need them in Africa. We will start even chasing them wherever they are right now. If they cannot bring peace in their country, they don't have to stay in another man's country because they are not welcome. So I believe that Tanzania will come together to build a very stronger nation. And we wish them all the best, Dr. Matsanga. Thank you. Yes, back to you, Dr. Ari. Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Thank you, Dr. Ari. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ambassador Maina, I was looking before you go, before I come to Dr. Arute to take us away, let me look at the messages. They came all the way from Monrovia. They came all the way from Somalia, Dar es Salaam, New York. Thank you very much. Dr. Severin Alute, brother, we mourn with you and we mourn together. Take us away. Tell us that tomorrow we are going to be united, remain united. Come back and we visit Tanzania, a united country. That it will remain as it is. There will be no leadership wrongs. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Matsanga. Tanzania is a united country. We are united. Since the announcement of the person of the president, the nation has been together. There is no issues. I think there are some people who maybe they don't know Samia Suluhu Hassan. I think she will make a good president, and she will bring will integrate the nation. And those who ran away from Tanzania, I think with the presidency of Samia Suluhu Hassan, they will come back and build the nation. I think this is a little differences between opposition and the people in power. They will go away with the way I have seen her leadership, the way I have known her. I think she will bring this nation together than ever. And she is a strong woman, and I believe her leadership will show way, and she will do more maybe than what Magufuli was doing, because I think even the Magufuli picking her as a vice president was quite astonishing to many of the people, and it was a unique pick, and they have been together for this about 6 years, working together. So she knows Magufuli's direction, and she has a combination of the Magufuli direction and her direction. I think what is happening today in Tanzania, what was going on as a project that we were undertaken, they will be finished, and we will see more things that will come. With her experience as a vice president of Constituent Assembly, I think the constitution processes that they started with Justice Warioba, that is what we are looking where this project to.
So, yes, we lost you there, sir. Yes, sir.
Sorry.
Yes, Dr. Alute, please.
Yeah. A little bit of cut. I was saying about the constitution. I was speaking about the constitution processes that was they have begun it, and I think this one is going to be finalized as we have a drafting constitution, and we are looking forward for her presidents to complete this. And I think most of the things that the President Jakaya Kikwete and Magufuli started, I think she will complete. And most of the Tanzania, they're looking forward to see her doing something that will bring the nation together, and looking at to build the institutions instead of maybe building one man or one woman as a leader. We need a strong institutions that we will continue to bring this nation together. So we are quite pleased for her, and we are confident with her leadership, and we see a positive in her, and we see maybe the outcome from her leadership will bring more fruit to this country.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, all of you, my panelists. Thank you very much, all of you from Dar es Salaam. Thank you, my brother. Every Thursday, kumbuka. Every Thursday, saa mbili. You leave time for this show. It's a great show for you. We want you to be on there. But before I let you go, have they shown in the president?
Not yet. I think that will be soon. Probably we have not seen the timetable for that, but that I think that will be soon.
Okay.
Probably tomorrow.
Just give us, keep me in touch. Thank you very much, Daktari. Asante sana, nashukuru sana. Ndugu mpenzi kutoka Tanzania, Dar es Salaam. Napenda sana kuamua.
Asante Dokta.
Kuwa na wewe kwa siku hii. Siku hii, when we tuko na uchungu mingi. Sababu mtu wetu, mtu wa Pan-African man amekufa. Lakini Mungu tunaomba awashikilie mikono yenu wa Tanzania. Mkuwe mema, mpate amani, mchunge amani, mkuwe watu moja, mpaka mpate rais mpya aendelee na mashughuli zile za serikali. Asante sana. Maybe my Swahili is not gone yet. Thank you very much, Dr. Sabri from Dar es Salaam. And thank you very much, Odesimas Odesisana Tawish from Nairobi. Thank you very much, Ambassador Kaina from Paris. Thank you very much, Javani Karanja from Nanyuki. Thank you very much, Douglas Kirimi from Meru. And finally, thank you very much, Sean Daniel Wesonga, an investigative journalist based in Nairobi. Asante sana na muendelee na kazi zenyu. Tutaonana tena kesho asubuhi. This station therefore is for Africa, with Africa, by Africa. Ciao.